Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in. This is BigBearForNation.com back here with another video. And guys, welcome to the NFL Analytics predictions for the Wildcard weekend. We are here every single week breaking down every single matchup as we do here in the Analytics predictions. As we're here for every single week. This is Big Bear here from MoneyLoadNation.com. I do appreciate everybody for hopping in today. And like I said, we're going to break down every single matchup for you this week. We're going to dive into everything that you need to know. Everything. I got more stats for teams, you know what I mean? Like I have like the injury report, stuff like that. I got everybody in for you guys. So I got you guys covered on this one. So like I said, I know more information than I did in the NFL Weekly Pick Show. So if you guys haven't checked it out, that was yesterday's video. Make sure you guys go check it out. If you guys want to join our NFL bracket challenge, make sure you guys do that as well. That was in the previous video before the Pick'em Show. That was the one I break down how I thought the playoffs were going to go in that video. So make sure you guys go check that out. But I will have the bracket in the link in the description. Maybe I might show you guys the bracket after this video. I don't know. We will see. Of what I actually am predicting to happen. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I will post that in the I'm going to post that in the community. So yeah, go ahead and check that out. Also, what do I have to say here? So, like I said, I know who's playing, who's not playing now. I got some more information. I got I got some more stuff about it. So yeah, this is gonna be a very exciting wild card. So let's go ahead and dive into everything here. I'm not gonna sit here. So like I said, we have 6 games, so I can break it down more. I can take more time than I was in the regular season. You know, the regular season, especially like weeks 15, 16, 17, you know, how we were just going so fast because it's like 16 games that we really got to get moving. Now I can actually take my time, explain about each game. I can actually like slow it down a little bit. So at least I got that, so I don't feel a little bit too rushed. But it's the playoffs, so I'm going to be breaking down more stuff for you guys in this video. So like I said, we do appreciate you guys for being here. Like I said, make sure you hit the like, subscribe button. Make sure you join the Discord. Not trying to make this video to be so long, but yeah, it is what it is. So make sure you guys go check it out. We'll have we will be back in the division round we will have a pick and show, all that stuff for that throughout the playoffs. So come join us for those. Those are going to be a lot of fun. But let's go ahead and get into what I did so far, or I should say this year in the regular season. So there, as you guys have it, those are my records for this season. Pretty damn good overall. We went 197 and 75. That was my regular season record. Ended up going 11-5 last week. So we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good with that. Hopefully that continues to climb throughout the playoffs. Now I will have a playoff record underneath when you guys come back here for the divisional round for next week. We will have a playoff record right there, but I will still add that to the regular picks record or a straight overall picks. So I'll still have that, but I'll have those two underneath that. So just to let you guys know about that for more information about that. Also, next to spread picks record, we went 145 and 127 this year. Let me double check on that because I don't know if that's the right record or if that's the record from last week. I have to check. Let me check. Yeah, okay, yeah. So that was the record. Okay, sorry, cool. Okay, so that's good. So like I said, if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you join the Discord. We really do appreciate it. And yeah. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get it going. Like I said, a lot to break down today. So let's go ahead and dive into everything. So like I said, we're here every single week with this video. If you guys haven't checked out our pick show, make sure you guys go check it out. It's a lot of fun. Me and a whole bunch of subscribers, we jump on stage and we pick every single NFL game. It's a lot of fun, so make sure you go check it out. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get it going here. So I guess we could take a look at the standings, even though it doesn't really mean too much of anything now. So this is where the standings ended up. Obviously you got the top 7 in the playoffs, and then the Bengals actually moved into 8th place because they actually just barely lost, and then the Colts losing, then the Dolphins losing, so the Bengals got that 8th final spot. So yeah, if you guys haven't checked out that previous video that I did, I think it was that one video that I ranked every single team, how I thought they've been performing, or the season expectations, if you guys know what I mean. So if you guys haven't checked out that video, make sure to go check it out. I posted that a long time ago, so not a long time ago, but but earlier in the week, so make sure to go check it out. But those are the video. So those are the standings in the AFC, or should I say the final standings in the AFC. So make sure to check it out. Who my disappointing team of the year was. We will have all that coming up here shortly. So make sure to go check it out. So we will have that at the end of the postseason. So make sure to go check that out. That's going to be a lot of fun there. So, but there is your standings here for the AFC. And then, like I said, the Chiefs and Detroit, those two teams will not be playing this week because they have a bye week because they got the number 1 seed. But there's your final standings in the NFC. NFC standings are actually kind of wild because you have a lot of teams with a lot of wins on the board. So yeah, it's crazy how that ended up. Like I said, the loser of the Vikings and Lions. You know, I thought they both played so well this year, and I thought they deserved to play a home game. The fact that Vikings on the road in the first game is ridiculous. But yeah, those are the elimination teams right there. Obviously, Seattle just barely missed out because of the strength of schedule from the Rams in order to clinch the playoffs, and then those are the standings for the NFC closing out the year. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into our first game here on slate. Is like I said, we had a pretty good damn interesting slate this week. So let's start off here. We got the Chargers playing against we got the Chargers playing against the Houston Texans. Like I said, I do think this one could go either way. This is a game that, in reality of it, you might just how each team's been playing this year. Like you might be thinking, like, yes, this is an easy win for the Chargers. They've been playing so well this year, but obviously, I don't see this game being a blowout in all means. I do think the Chargers will win because I do think they've been the more consistent team. But when you look at it, but the Chargers, they could have some problems here offensively. Sure, they've been really good this year with J.K. Dobbins running in there. But here's the problem about that: you got to play against the Texans' rush defense and pressure defense. Now, give credit to Houston. Houston's been an incredible defensive team. I think they have been this year. They've been really good at forcing turnovers. So if the Chargers want to win this game, they have to play mistake-free on offense. That's something that they really have to do, and I think the Chargers are capable of that. They don't really turn over the ball that much. They've been really good throughout the ground, and J.K. Dobbins, he could be in for a pretty decent night. I should say. I'm not gonna say a good night because the Texans' rush defense is pretty good. So maybe the Texans can force the Chargers into some more problems. So I'm just thinking, like, if they can play mistake-free football, and they can get down the field, I do think they'll do enough to win this game. Now, I'm not comfortable about that, but the Texans, like I said, here's the thing about the Texans. They scare the hell out of me in this game where I'm picking against them, because if you guys haven't watched last year, they're in this situation with the Cleveland Browns, like the exact situation. Like the team, they're not playing too well, they're overwhelming, and then they go out there and smack the Browns. So Will that come into play? It's a different year, so we'll see. But with this game playing in Houston, I'm very scared about this one. Especially I don't like picking against home teams in the playoffs because it's just the playoff atmosphere. You guys know what I'm saying? So just the playoff atmosphere. Like, I just hate picking against the Texans in the spot, because the Texans, they can really win this game and they want to. They can go out there. But here's the thing about the Texans: they don't have Tank Dell for this game, and I do think that they're gonna have to really rely on Joe Mixon, Nico Collins to do all the playmaking in the offensive end. And you have to look at it this way too: you're playing against one of the better defensive units in all in football of the Los Angeles Chargers. I think the Chargers have been a very great defensive team over the course of the year. And even though the Texans, I am scared about this pick, or I should say I am scared about picking against them here in their home turf, I just think the Chargers do enough. Plus, I do think the Chargers, they should be able to run the ball a little bit, just enough for them to get the win. Like I said, I'm not comfortable with this pick at all. I do think the Texans are very capable of winning this. I do think C.J. Stroud will have a good night. I do think both quarterbacks will have good nights. I do think both running backs, Joe Mixon and J.K. Dobbins, I do think they're all going to have good nights. But if you're asking me, I'm going to take the team that's been more consistent, more reliable, more. You guys know what I mean. I'm just taking the team who just been more consistent over the course of the season. That's been the Chargers. Now, if the Texans win this game, do not be shocked at all, because like I said, you're picking against Houston in Houston, where they had an explosion game last time, and I remember picking against the Houston Texans in last year in the Wildcard. It did not end up well. So the Texans, they could very much win this, but like I said, you're playing against one of the better defensive teams in football. I'm gonna take the Chargers to go ahead and get it done here in LA, but don't be surprised if the Texans win. So I'm gonna go low scoring game here. I think Chargers 21-17. I do think both defenses will show up. I think the defensive showcase will be the massive factor of this. Which team could do a little bit more offensively, and with the Texans without having Tank Dell, I do think that's gonna hurt. Now, if Tank Dell was playing in this game, I probably would take the Texans because the Texans they do enough offensively that they can win. So I think the game really just comes down to which team can be more consistent offensively, and Tank Dell. Tank Dell being out. I think that's a big game changer. So that's the reason I'll take the Chargers. I'm gonna take the Chargers -3. I'm not really comfortable about that because, like I previously said, I can see the Texans winning. I think this one can go either way. So we're gonna go Chargers -3, and then I'm gonna go under 42.5. Like I said, I do think this game is going to be a defensive showcase. I do think both teams are gonna rely on their defense to win it. So we're gonna go under in that 142.5. But I do like the Chargers barely merging ahead here. But this should be a pretty damn interesting game here. All right, let's go ahead and move on here to our second playoff game. We got the Steelers going into the Baltimore Ravens. The Steelers have literally, like I said in this previous, the Steelers, they have no motivation going to the playoffs. They got absolutely none. Steelers motivation, they just lost last week. They're coming in with a 4-game losing streak. But they could take advantage of Baltimore not having Zay Flowers. I did look in the injury report before I pre-recorded this, and Zay Flowers was not playing. That's the thing, though. So will that impact the Steelers? We will see. We'll find out. But I'm gonna go Baltimore Ravens in this game, 27-20. I do think they get the job done. Now I did look at the line and I saw Baltimore -9.5. I think that's a little bit too much. This is a divisional game. And I understand it's in Baltimore, so that's why I gave Baltimore to win, because I do think this game really comes down to home field advantage, and Baltimore has that. But Mike Tomlin, he always finds a way to contain Lamar Jackson. I do think he will do that. Not enough for it to win, but I do think he'll do enough that Ravens offense might have some difficult moments, and be aware that, like I said, the Steelers they're still one of the better defensive units in football. So can they put pressure on Lamar Jackson? I do think they can, but I don't think it's really going to be enough to see the Steelers. But the Steelers offense has not looked good over the course of the last 4 weeks. Over the course of their losing streak, this offense has not looked that good. I was really been disappointed about the Steelers offense. Now, if the Steelers have more motivation going into the playoffs, maybe I do pick them here, but I'm not going to do it. The game's in Baltimore. Steelers lost the 3 seed. Now, this game very much could have been in Pittsburgh. The Steelers could have finished their job and went out, but no, it's in Baltimore. So I'll lean towards the Ravens. Like I said, I do think the Steelers will give Lamar Jackson a little bit of discomfort, but I don't think it's going to be enough for them to get the job done here. So we're going to take the Ravens in this game. All the Ravens really need to do is just basically do the same thing last time they did against the Steelers. Work the Steelers defense, run the ball a lot with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. You do that, I do think you'll find a way to win the game. And I do think that's going to be the X factor for Baltimore, because Baltimore, they don't have Zay Flowers in this game. So if you want to throw the ball, you really have to rely on Bateman and OBJ. You're gonna have to rely on those two to get the job done here, but I'm not gonna fall for that path. I'm gonna go with the Ravens in this one. The rushing game, I think that's too much for Steelers defense to handle. Look for Derrick Henry to score multiple touchdowns in this one, as well as Lamar Jackson. No matter how they get it through the legs or through the air on the pass, but I think the Ravens just barely do enough here to close it out. So we're gonna go with the Ravens there, but Steelers could be very sneaky in this one. So yeah, I'm kind of predicting this one to be a close game. Like I said, 27-20. I think it'll be close, but the Ravens win it. Definitely taking Pittsburgh plus 9.5. This is a divisional round matchup. Third time in a row. Could be a little bit tricky there. So I'll kind of stay away from the spread there. I'll lean towards the Steelers. And then over 43.5. I feel pretty good, pretty confident about that. I do think majority of this game is going to be a lot of scoring. I think this game is going to come down to the defense. Plus, Baltimore's defense has been pretty damn good as of late. So let's see if Baltimore puts on that same defensive performance as it did in recent weeks. If they do that, they'll contain the Steelers offense and win. So therefore, we will take the over. I do think this game has plenty of opportunities for a lot of scoring, and I do think both teams take care of the matchup. So at the end of the day, we're going Baltimore. All right, next we got the Denver Broncos playing against the Buffalo Bills. The Broncos has entered the playoffs for the first time in a long time, and I'm proud of them for that. I think Denver has a very good season. Now there's two ways you can look at this. You can look at this as a close game and Denver fights hard, or you can look at it like this is gonna be an ass kicking. I don't think this is going to be an ass kicking. I really don't. I think this game is going to be closer than a lot of people think. I am picking the Bills to win this 131-17, but I don't know, man. Like, this one's tough. Like, Buffalo, they can win this game. I mean, Denver can win this game, absolutely. But I'm not gonna fall for it. I'm not gonna fall for the trap here. I'm gonna take Buffalo. I think Buffalo's the better team. You know, when you're going into Buffalo in the playoffs, it's not an easy road. And Denver, I don't think has the team to do it. Now I do think the Denver defense will give the Bills some offensive issues here because Denver is one of the better defensive units in football. So I can see them maybe disturbing the Bills' offense a little bit, but I don't think Denver's going to do enough. I don't think their offense is going to do enough. Now, if Denver really wants to win this game, they're going to really have to rely on the rushing game because Buffalo's defense really struggles against the run. So if you want to pass, that's the thing that Buffalo can do because Buffalo is actually pretty damn good against the pass. So if Denver wants to score, they're going to have to rely on Javonte Williams in the running game. Whoever's playing a running back for the Broncos, we don't know because we saw 3 guys back there. So whoever's playing a running back is really going to have to be a game changer in this game. They're going to have to run the ball pretty effectively. Like I previously said, Buffalo's a pretty good damn defensively, but one thing that they do struggle is against the run. So if you want to run the ball, you can do that. That's the way that you can score on Denver, score on Buffalo. Now I do think they will score on that, but I don't think it's going to be enough. So we're going to lean towards the Bills in this one. I don't think that Denver does enough to give them the slight edge here. So we're going to go with the Bills in this one, 31-17. I'm going to take Buffalo minus 9.5. I mean, that is a little bit risky, though, because like I said, that's kind of, like, if you want to take a shot at Buffalo minus 9.5, you might be thinking like that's kind of disrespecting Denver, but that could be a little risky, man. Like, betting 9.5 on Denver, it could be a little risky, but I'm going to go with it. And then over 47.5. I feel pretty good about that because I do think we're going to see a lot of scoring in this one. Both defenses kind of struggle. Denver on the passing game, Buffalo on the rushing game. So there could be some moments of struggle there for either side. But yeah, we're going to lean towards the Bills in this one as they get the job done here at home. But don't be surprised if Denver does a little bit sneaky here and wins this game. But like I said, Bo Nix is really going to have to play well. But I can't pick against Josh Allen in the playoffs, especially in the wildcard round. That's just too disrespectful, as the Bills have been phenomenal this year. So we're going to take the Bills in that regard, 31-17. Like I said, I'm not really comfortable with the spread, so take the spread. How no matter you guys have it, it's going to be a good one regardless. And over 47.5, you guys should probably do that one because that's going to be a good one. But we do have Buffalo advancing, and like I said, I do think Denver is going to come in with the game plan. I do think they'll work, but at the end of the day, I think Buffalo advances. All right, next up we got the Packers taking on against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are getting the Eagles. Now, I did say in the pick'em show that both these two teams, that my pick in this game really comes down to who's playing and who's not playing. The Eagles are gonna have their guys back. Jalen Hurts is playing. He cleared concussion protocol. AJ Brown did have some injuries, but I believe he is going to play in this one. So I do think the Eagles. I do think everybody's going to play for the Eagles, and I do think the same thing for the Packers. Jordan Love, I think he's going to play. Now, who's the one that got injured? I think it was Wicks, the one that got injured from Green Bay. But he should be able to get a go. So yeah, injury for both of these two teams except for Wicks. I think somebody was ruled out for a season. It was a wide receiver. I can't think of his name right now, but I think the Eagles take care of business 30-23. I think this won't be close. Actually, this is supposed to be Philly minus 5.5. So I do apologize about that, but I think the Eagles they should be able to take care of business here. As long as they're at home in this one, which they are, Green Bay can absolutely compete in this game because they got their guys. The Green Bay Packers, I think they're a well-balanced team. I think they can rely on either side of the ball. So I do think Green Bay is great. They can do a lot of great things in this game, but they can pass the ball pretty well in Philadelphia's defense. But Philadelphia's defense, even though the Packers will score, I do think that the Eagles will do enough here to win. I'm not comfortable about it, but the Eagles, they should be able to get the job done here. 30-23. I think it's going to be a close one. So yeah, we're just going to lean towards Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia has more talent. They're at home. Their defense has been playing outstanding. So we'll lean towards Philadelphia. Like I said, everybody is playing for this game for both sides except for Green Bay. because I do think Green Bay's injuries are going to cost them a little bit. Now, if the Eagles want to win this game, kind of like the Ravens, you have to rely on Saquon and Jalen Hurts running the football, and they could pass a little bit. I like AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. I just think the Eagles have a little bit more too much weapons. I should say, just too much more weapons for the Green Bay Packers to handle. So we're gonna go with the Eagles this one. Eagles minus 5.5 should be a good game overall. I'm actually really excited to watch this game, but over 45.5, yeah, we're hitting it every single time. This game's gonna be a lot of scoring. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be a nail biter. So this isn't, like I said, this is not the average 2 versus 7 team matchup here. But we're gonna go with the Eagles here, taking care of business at home. All right, next we have Washington going up against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and this one is very interesting. Very, very interesting. You have two teams here that can score the ball a lot. I am very motivated for this game. Baker Mayfield versus Shane Daniels. I'm really impressed how Washington's been this year. They've been absolutely sensational. But yeah, I'm gonna go Tampa Bay here. I'm gonna go with the more experienced team at home. Like I said, I do think this one is going to be fireworks offensively. Expect these two teams to light up the scoreboard. But yeah, I'm just gonna lean towards the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They get the job done here at home. I'm not comfortable with the decision. I'm not comfortable with any decision if you're asking me. With this game being in Washington, you might want to go that route. You might want to take. With this game being in Tampa Bay, you might want to take that route with Washington because Washington are a very good underdog pick to have in this one. But I'm not gonna lean towards them. I do think both offenses will have a good night. I do think Jane Daniels, Baker Mayfield, I think all of those will have good nights. Maybe we see Robinson have a good night. Buggy Irvin's going to run the ball all over the place. I just think this game really comes down to really like I said, who is the more experienced team. So, and I do think that's the Buccaneers. So I do think they should be able to get the job done here. But we do have to rely on both defenses. Can Washington pass the ball because Tampa Bay really struggles on the passing game? Can Tampa Bay run the ball effectively on Washington's defense? Because even though Washington's defense, especially rush defense, is very solid, that's where they can struggle a little bit. So I do think that game is going to come down to that factor as well, which offense can move the ball, or I should say, because I do think this is going to be a shootout game, which defense can generate more stops. And overall, I do think that Washington is the better defensive team. So like I said, if you want to pick Washington for that reason, go straight ahead, but I'm not going to go for it. I do think Tampa Bay, like I said, the more experienced team, they're home in this one. I trust them. I trust them to get the job done here. But if Washington wins, don't be surprised. If Washington upsets, don't be surprised. But we're going to lean towards Tampa Bay in that reason. 28-27 is my final score here. I'm going with Tampa Bay in a squeaker. So as we got for that, well, Washington +3. Feeling fantastic about that. Like I said, close game. Nail biter, gonna be a close game. And over 50.5, yeah, you guys better bet. You guys actually might as well bet that over 50.5. I think these will be great. Like I said, both teams should be a lot of scoring, should be very close. But at the end of the day, I got the Bucks advancing in the squeaker, 1-point game. Should be very exciting. All right, and then ending off the wild card weekend, we got the Minnesota Vikings taking on against Los Angeles Rams. If you guys haven't realized, due to the unfortunate wildfires, this game will be moved in Arizona. So that's why the background is Arizona, because that's where this game will be played at. But even though the Rams, okay, they might have just lost home field advantage, but I do think the Rams are still going to win this game. Me personally, I think the Rams are just going to play for the city of LA. They're going to go out there. They're going to go out there. They're going to compete their ass off, and I actually do think they're going to win this game. Now, I do respect Minnesota. I think Minnesota is a hell of a team. I think this one's going to be close. It should be a nail biter, but at the end of the day, I believe in LA. I believe in their underrated defense to get the job done in this one. So I'm going to take LA in the squeaker. It's going to be close. It's going to be competitive, but I'm going to take LA to win this. But LA is really going to have to move the ball offensively like they did last time in Minnesota. If they can do that, they can pull it off. But like I said, nail biter, kind of close game. Should be a close one, but I'm going to take the Rams here 24-21. Like I said, if the Rams, if they can just move the ball with efficiency, they should be able to win this game. Now, if Minnesota's defense comes out and shows up and annihilates the Rams offense, now they're going to win this game because the Vikings offense is still very talented. And Sam Darnold, he has been very good over the course of the year. Now, if you watched Sam Darnold last week, he was not good at all. I mean, let's just call it what it is. He was not good. So I do think the Rams, even though it's Detroit, defense, I do think the Rams defense can force more pressure. But the Rams is really going to rely on defensive side of the ball is the blitz. Can they get after Sam Darnold? If they can do that, I do think the Rams can win this game. Now, if Sam Darnold performs like he did last week, the Rams are going to win this game because that's just the reality of it. But if the Vikings offense comes out to play, the Vikings are going to win this game. But I'm not expecting that. Even though I do think the Vikings will have good offensive moments, I do think the Rams can still win this game because, like I said, the Rams, they have a very underrated defense. Their rush defense, that's been the reality of the Los Angeles Rams. If they can do that, they will win this game. So I'm going to lean towards LA in this one. 24-21 should be a pretty damn interesting game here. But I do think for the upset pick, LA gets it done. Now, if you guys want to pick Minnesota, understand it, because a 14-win season for Minnesota, if they actually do lose this game, it'll kind of be like a 14-win season. Okay, that's just kind of out of the door for nothing. Okay, that's just what it is. But 24-21, I think both defenses are going to step up. Like I said, I do think this is going to be more of the offensive standpoint, which team can move the ball more offensively and effectively. And I'm going to trust the Rams to do that. So we're going to take the Rams here. 24-21 should be a pretty damn good game. But I'm going to take the Rams +3. I'm kind of surprised the Rams are actually underdogs in this game. Because the Rams, they beat Minnesota last time they played. And this was supposed to be a home game for Los Angeles in the SoFi, but like I said, unfortunately, due to the burning and Los Angeles wildfires, that we can't have that. So that's pretty unfortunate, but I think the Rams just get it done here. Like I said, I rely on their underrated defense to get after Sam down a little bit. If they can do that, force some pressure on the Vikings offense, then I do think the Rams offense will show up. Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp should have good nights. Now, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, the Rams defense is going to have to do a good job of covering those two. And even though we're not asking them to stop them, we're asking them to limit them. Kind of like the Vikings. We're kind of asking their defense to limit Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. If they can do that, it'll be an even game. Now, I do think this is going to be an even game regardless. I think both teams, Vikings defense is fantastic. Rams defense is underrated, but we're going to lean towards the Rams here. Like I said, we're going to take LA +3 and under 47.5. Like I said, I think we're going to see more defensive showings in this one than offensively because neither team's offense really performed good at recent weeks. So we're going to take the under in this one. Kind of avoid that one though. Like I said, I can see that one going over, but I'm going with the under. But at the end of the day, I got my boys winning. I got us advancing, but it should be a pretty damn interesting game. All right, and that is going to do it for the analytics predictions for the wild card predictions. Like I said, if you guys aren't ready, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you join the Discord. And I got to go ahead and get out of here. So I do appreciate y'all's support. This is BigBearSunNation.com. Peace out. Stay safe. See y'all in the next one. Enjoy this playoffs.